hearing served and protected. And this is Crystal, and I have a special episode this evening. I want to holler out to the most wonderful kid I don't know. This is Kyle. Happy birthday to you, you beautiful child. You are gorgeous. I'm proud of you. Only after you got fired from the jail, but you know. I love you, and I'm guaranteeing you don't know the stuff I want to talk to you about. All I know is I apologize for any of your birthdays that have felt sad. I've concentrated on thinking good thoughts about you so you have a good birthday, so no bad energies come from me. The disappointments, the sadness, I just know this much. You don't know the whole stories, I'm sure. And I'm sure some of the stuff that you know is outright lies. But just know that I love you. You are the apple of my eye, always have been, my firstborn son. And I tell you what, if it comes to a day when you feel that you must deny you're related to me, I will understand. But I want you to know that I love you, and that one of the biggest reasons I look like such an insane person to you was because I believed a lie that I was bipolar, that I needed pills, and that someday, somewhere, I would find a combination of ones that worked and made me the okay person I was trying to be. And that day didn't happen because I am not bipolar, and those drugs never helped. And now that I'm finally on marijuana and allowed to be, there's a big difference. I wish you could know me now. I wish I could have been this way back then. But I tell you, there's no way in hell or heaven or anything on earth that I could have ever been okay with you living with my mother, with you living with Jonesy's mother. You know, I mean, I don't know. You didn't know him. You had no idea. I wonder if they ever told you the stories they told me when I told them about you. If I want you to know anything in this world, kid, read the Satanic Bible. Read some Anton LaVey. I'm only just starting to read stuff. I'm only just starting to finally get my hands on books that have really, I didn't even know what to look for. I didn't know what to think about. But listen to Boba Flex. What else? I don't know. Chill with me one day. I'd like to know you. Seems like I probably do, kind of, but you know, not like I'd like to. I'm proud of you for riding a bike. That's what's up. I don't know what you're doing for work right now, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but I'm just, I'm glad you found someone. I hope you're very happy. I know that one day I'm going to watch you lead your grandma away from some courthouse steps, and she's going to be giving me a fucking scathing look, like, how could you? And that's upsetting. But know that when I had the visions about all that, I didn't even know it was her. And I realized at one point, wow, that's Joan. But it doesn't matter. And then I thought it was her husband, you know, that would come and put his arm around her and lead her away. But he's dead, and that hasn't happened yet, which means that's going to be you protecting her from the hatred she feels towards me. Well, let me just tell you, kiddo, I'm not the reason she had anger. I'm not the reason it was the Vietnam War. I can have a lot of leeway for your grandfather and your grandmother because of the fact that, dude, he was infantry and never healed. They don't do that back then, I guess, you know. But I want you to know that, I don't know, I met your dad a few times, obviously. and that the situation I considered a rape type situation. I don't know if I had the foresight to realize he was a violent person. He could get violent, whatever. I didn't want to have sex with him, but I just quick let him do it, and then never spoke to him again. And I did not know when I was marrying that guy that he was not your father. I think I had an inkling, but I really just thought, well, you know. And when it came down and I found out that that man was not your dad, I found out later. I had a process of elimination. I really had hoped it was the other guy, and I had repressed that thought and memory so far that I forgot all actually about it until the other test came back negative, which I didn't have to submit to any of that. I was dumb to have married the man I married that I thought was your father. You went through too much, you know, just having to try to help us, or just me trying to find us a home. It tore me to pieces to see you here with my mom. And I'm telling you, kid, there was no way I could have maintained anything, although I did keep that job until the murder happened. And I was really disappointed. I mean, kid, I had a fucking empty room with a bed, dresser. I could have had your clothes. I mean, I didn't care. I would have did whatever it took to take care of you. And my family has, when you came along, they realized that there was something that would hurt me if they fucked with it, and that was you. And they played and played and played. And I went through it with Nathan and Colin. The situation is even worse. You had the opportunity once. I mean, I never forgive you for this, son. But that day when I walked around the corner, when you walked around the corner, I was telling your little brother, here's your brother's car. And then you came around the corner, I said, there's your brother. And I said, look at how handsome he was. I walked around that corner, and I collapsed in Connie's arms, crying, because you just wouldn't even look at him or me. And I don't know what formed your opinions to that. But trust me, people that know me are disturbed that you won't speak to me. And fuck your grandma, and fuck your grandpa. I love Ray, and I love Joan too, but her fear that you would find out that your father was not this great, wonderful guy, and it wasn't his fault. He should have been allowed to do drugs. Because I don't know, I didn't have to live with a war veteran like that. But Jonesy never wanted to go home. Talk to the people that grew up with him. Talk to Jeff. Talk to fucking Paul Holland. Talk to fucking any of these people that probably couldn't stand a motherfucker while he was alive. He was fun to party with, you know. And that's the reason I was with him that night, because, well, you know, I always had a hard time getting a hold of my weed. And you know, he had some Librium. Or he promised me Librium. Whatever, you know, he's taking it from his mom. And just so you know, I don't care how harsh and fucked up this sounds, that bitch lied to the school and told them that I was declared an unfit parent, which is a lie. I couldn't get it together, kid. I couldn't get off the weed so they could drug test me and then deal with all the fucked up abuse and the homelessness and the bullshit. Look, I got us a home. Your grandma, your Grammy, fucked it up. I don't know. I'm so sorry that you feel that I was a bad parent. I couldn't function any other way. Just know that there was no possible way I didn't have any choices. They used you like a fucking... They used you to get to me. And it hurt you along the way, and for that I'm very sorry. And I'm also sorry with the changes that came about because of the treatment I endured from children and youth. And I took pills. I did everything I could, kid, to keep you away from Grandma. The night that they took custody of you from me while I was in jail, and they gave your custody to Grammy and closed the case, I went back to that jail, and I cried, moaned, cried. It was the biggest devastation in my life, and there was nothing I could fucking do. Trust me when I say, there was nothing I could do. There's a line in a song by, I guess it's New Medicine, and they say, you can't regret what you don't decide. And realize, buddy, I didn't decide any of that. I was helpless. You know, everybody was reporting me for smoking pot. They were all saying, here, she's smoking weed. Rush tried to get you off me, you know, and into the system. And just the reason that I backed away, I couldn't handle your fucking grandfather either. Your grandmother's a dumbass. And she just doesn't understand. One time, because I mean, I don't know if you know, kiddo, but I see stuff, and I know stuff. I know that one time, you know, I had this, I don't know, these are hard flashes to see, but I am a healer. And when people allow that healing and they allow me into the world and of their world, instead of what they most of the time did, kicking me out some which way out of your life. I saw flashes once, right before I left Pennsylvania. Flashes, beautiful memories that we never got to have because they divided against me instead of being a family. And I think that they wanted me and Brian to get married. And fuck that shit, kid. He's my stepbrother, and he fucked up my shit when I was a teenager. As much as I cared about the guy, it was dirty to me from way back. Something called statutory rape. A 15-year-old and a 20-year-old coming home from the basic training to try to have sex with his stepsister is kind of gross. Anyway, I love you, son. Whether you know, whether it matters, and I guess it don't. But I always wanted you, and I fought every single step to try to be in your life, to try to stay in your life. And when you said those horrible things to me when you were 13, I figured, fuck. I don't know what else to say. And whatever I said back to you, I know it was nasty. It was the truth. Connie said, well, fucking A, right. About time you say some shit to that boy instead of trying to suck up his ass. So whatever went on, I understand that you had to survive in the environment you were in. I forgive you for that. And I love you anyway. But honestly, you can't blame me for your problems. I didn't raise you. You can't say that I'm the one who made you anyway. Whatever your hatred and anger is towards me, drop it off somewhere, somehow, some way. You don't have to ever speak to me in your life. But don't hold on to it. Because it's based on lies. I know you have your reasons. And I give you that. But a lot of the stuff that you're hating me for is because you didn't know what was happening. You didn't understand the situation. I didn't abandon you. They pushed me away. And I piss off the wrong people. I am the devil. Anyway, you know. I mean, hey, I'm going to take that role. I don't give a fuck. And I don't think that you should have had the rules put on you that were put on you. You, Nathan, and Colin are all three princes of hell. These are secrets that nobody's listening to the podcast, man. Not yet. It doesn't matter. This is only for you, kiddo. And I don't know that there's anything else I'd like to tell you. Just that, you're special because of being from me. And you're special because of being from your dad. There was some good shit in that man. But the bullshit that your grandfather was putting, I don't know what you saw, but I imagine you saw the effects and learned how to live and deal. And when you're grand and nervous wreck, apparently, I don't know. What they say about everybody, about that family is, Ray's a wonderful guy, Joan's a fucking nut. So think about that. I ask about you, about all kinds of things. I ask. And I just know that whatever's happening in this world, I was never myself after I had to try to give up weed. And I don't think you belonged on all those pills. You probably were better off smoking weed. But do what you have to do, kid. They hooked you on speed as a child. You're one of the generation where they tested it out, and if it calmed you down, then they diagnosed you ADHD, ODD, all that. Fuck those labels. Kid, you got separated from your mom. I don't think you remember telling me, but you told me once, if anyone ever kept you away from me again, you would fucking kill them. Well, people that kept you away from me was your grandparents with lies, and both sets. Now, I love my parents, and I cared for your grandparents very much. But they fucked up. They fucked up. We could have had wonderful memories together, all of us. But me and Brian tried to tell them about that agency, and they turncoated. They went foster parent because your grandma wanted the money. So think about that next time you talk shit, and think about the one time she told me she does your laundry and cares for you that way. And I'm thinking, wow, bitch, I have an infant right now that I do his laundry and mine by fucking hand. And I used to wash it, rinse it, and rinse it with fucking fabric softener water and hang that shit up to dry. Okay, and tell me what? That was a lot of fucking work. And that's what I was doing for my son while she was telling me about how she did your laundry in those beautiful front end loaders. Yeah, I'm bitter because that cunt lied about me. You were affected, and that's all that mattered. Every time I was looking like a crazy person, it was because I couldn't be with you. And I was not allowed to smoke pot. So anyway, there's 18, 19 minutes of why I am an asshole to you. I guess, honestly, I have had to pretend that I don't have any kids. I've had to pretend to myself I don't like to talk about it anymore. I've tried to tell people so they would understand that these agencies are no good. School lied. Did you not notice? You are a genius, kid. You're not a fucking... you're autistic. Meaning genius, like the rest of us. Yeah, I remember when you flipped the fuck out, and I didn't understand why you were mad about your socks, but I took all that time to get myself ready for work, where I did have time to straighten out my stockings and smooth all the wrinkles. I didn't realize about the sensory shit back then. But I'm autistic too, kid. I got PTSD from police misconduct, and I have Tourette's. So if you care why you think I'm an asshole, that's my explanation in a nutshell. And other than that, I'm saying, everybody else raised you. I hope it was fun. I hope it was, worth your while. And I don't think you'll ever hear this either. But I love you. And goodbye. And happy fucking birthday, man. June 20th, 2021. Guess what? The better birthday's next. Mine tomorrow. Happy birthday to me. Hail Crystal. Hail Satan. And hail Lucifer and shit. I don't fucking know. These different people. Read the books, kid. Read the books. Look at other things. This has been served and protected. Love you, Kyle.